company. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. Y'all, today's Watcha Cookin' Wednesday, and we are going to make chicken and spinach casserole. Let me take this little QR code off because there we go. Okay, we're making chicken and spinach casserole. I'm going to add rice to it. I've never made this before. I'm not even following a recipe. I'm literally just throwing this together, which is typical for my dinner most of the time. I don't follow many recipes most of the time. I just throw it together. So that's what we're doing today. I will try and keep track of what I am putting in it so that I can relay that to you all if you want to replicate it. But we'll see how it turns out. Basically, I am just going off of ingredients that I have and things that I've got in my pantry or in my fridge. So that's kind of what we're doing. And I do that a lot where I go check and see what I have, and then I just make something with whatever I can find. And so I had spinach, quite a bit of it, and I had chicken, and then I had some different creamy elements that we could put together. So that's the plan. All right, so when you hop on, say hey, let me know you're watching. It is yucky, nasty, rainy, stormy day today. It's warmer. It's like 66 degrees outside, but it has rained most of the day. And even has stormed a little bit, thunderstormed today. It's just one of those yucky days outside, but I am glad that it's warmer. So how are you all today? Hi, Dale. Hello, Sandy from Virginia. Hey, Jessalyn. Good to see you, girl. Hey, Jenny. Hello. Hi, Jamie. Hey, Pam. Happy Wednesday. Jamie Thompson says she's leaving for her cruise tomorrow. Fun, fun. Where are you going, Jamie? Hey, Carolyn. Hello. Jessalyn says, my husband always says I should write stuff down and measure when I make things so the boys can have it one day, but I've never measured things. I hear you. I'm the same way. Jamie says she made a spinach omelet this morning. Yum. Hi, Heidi. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't measure and write things down, but I am thankful for my page for those reasons, because I oftentimes think, I've made that before, and I can't quite remember how I did it, but thankfully I have my Facebook page, and so I can go back and find old recipes that I have made, which is very nice that I have that stuff documented because of the celebration company. Otherwise, I probably would not have it documented. So, yes, Jamie, it is a good day to craft and to cook and all of that. Going to Cozumel. Now, that sounds like a great place to go. I'd love to go to Cozumel. Would love to go to Cozumel. Hopefully everything is safe there right now. Hello, Aurelia. Good to see you. All right, so I already have my chicken in the oven. I got 4 chicken breasts, and they are in the oven. I just put them in on a sheet tray. I seasoned them with Dano's Original. Andrew really loves, here it is. Andrew really loves this. I follow him on Facebook as well. But Dano's Original is what I used for the chicken. And then I also used a little bit of salt because Dano's doesn't really have any salt in it. So it has a little bit, but it's not a very salty spice. So I feel like I always need additional salt with it. So I seasoned them. I just sprayed them with Pam and then seasoned them really well and put them in a 350-degree oven. So they are cooking. They're looking good. They are not done yet, but they are getting there. And so we'll take those out here shortly, and we'll add them with our casserole. But right now we're going to make the sauce for the casserole. Okay. So I have got frozen spinach, and I've also got fresh spinach. I'm going to use a little bit of both of them. So I'm going to stick this on a plate and microwave it to de-thaw this box of frozen spinach. I don't know. I'm just going to put it in there for a minute. We're going to start there. And then I have an onion and I've got some garlic. So I'm going to dice up an onion and we're going to cook an onion first. And that's going to be the start of our sauce. Now, you could make this very simple and just use a can of cream of chicken or a can of cream of mushroom or something like that. But because we are trying to eat a little better, we're gonna make our own sauce that's gonna be higher in protein and lower in calories. So I am just gonna get my onion diced up. We're gonna dice it pretty finely. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, thank you for joining me today. Hey, Lori. All right. I'm sorry I missed y'all yesterday. The girls and I had meetings all day basically. And so I didn't get done until 5 o'clock. And by that point, it was just too late. And I was ready to get started painting my stairwell and dinner and all the things. So just didn't work out yesterday, but we're still doing our Watcha Cookin' Wednesday. I am prepping this early because I want to get some painting done today. So I thought I'd go on and get my dinner prepped, and that way I can get some painting done and just throw this into the oven and have dinner going pretty easily. And someone asked me, Teresa said, how was the cruise? The cruise was really good. We had a lot of fun. Glad to be home, but we had a lot of fun. It's okay. I'm going to be okay. Okay, I'm going to go on and turn my oven or my skillet on. I've got a small skillet over here, and I'm going to turn it on to medium heat. Okay, your spinach feels like it's close. And this is a large onion. You probably really only need half of it. But I am under the impression you can never have too much onion. So why not use the other half? This half is smaller. That sounds good, Jessalyn. I like that meal. We make that often around here. It's easy. It's all the things in one pot, which is really nice, which is how this is gonna be. Okay. So we got our onions chopped up. Let's grab some garlic while my pan is warming up. Happy birthday, Teresa. I'm glad you had a good birthday. All right, so I'm gonna do, I don't know, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. I love garlic. This one here is not any good, so let me pick a different one. Okay. Whew, those onions are strong. All right. Did y'all have a good weekend? I really haven't asked you about your weekend because we were pretty distracted on Monday with our paper reveal. You love to cook, Kathy? I do too. I love to cook as well. I'd love it even more if I didn't have to do the dishes after I cook, which most of the time I don't. Most of the time I don't. My husband does it most of the time. Of course, when I choose to cook in the middle of the afternoon, then I'm responsible for the dishes. Okay, let me check my pan and see if it's warm enough. Let me grab my olive oil. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil into the pan, and then we're gonna add in our onions. Kathy, we're making a casserole. So this is a healthy version of a spinach, chicken and spinach casserole. So this does not have any cream of chicken soup or cream of mushroom or anything like that. Now you could use that certainly in place of what I'm going to use, but we're adding some extra protein with the way that we're going to do it and make it a little less calorie as well. That sounds like a good weekend, Jezelyn. Okay, so let's add in our onions. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and season these. I've got my heat on medium. I'm going to add some salt. So I need to refill. And some pepper. Woo! Man, they're strong. Okay. And let these cook down a bit. I'm going to check on my chicken. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to check the temperature of it. Daisies. Okay. It's feeling pretty good. It feels like it's still a little undercooked. I don't mind if it's a little undercooked because it's going to cook more in the oven in the casserole. Okay, we're going to let it go a little bit longer. I don't want it to be overcooked though. You know, I don't like overcooked chicken. All right, I'm going to throw my trash away here. But because it's going in a casserole, it's going to cook even more in the casserole. So if it's just slightly under, that's okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to be adding Laughing Cow cheese to this sauce. So these are very low calorie. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's 25 calories for one wedge. And one wedge has 2 grams of protein in it. And I have 6 wedges. And so I'm just going to take all of these out of the wrapper. Lori, I seasoned the chicken with Dano's seasoning. This right here, Dano's Original and salt. And that's it. I'm just taking these out of their little wrappers so that I can easily add them to my sauce. And these are just going to make our sauce creamier and cheesier. Okay, last one. Good morning, Darlene. It's rainy here too, girl. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me rinse my fingers. Okay, let me stir my onions here. Onions are starting to look pretty good. Now, I'm also going to be adding bone broth to this. I'm using beef bone broth because I have it already open. It needs to be used. But you could also use chicken bone broth. I switched to bone broth because it has more protein in it. A lot more protein than regular chicken broth. So, or regular even beef broth, which doesn't really have any protein in it. But if you use the bone broth, it does. This is the Laughing Cow cheese, and this was the original. Okay, it's the original light, I think, Laughing Cow cheese. All right. So I'm going to add in some of my chicken or my bone broth into my onions. Let me do my garlic first. Sometimes get ahead of myself with the garlic and forget to put it in. Okay, so we'll add the garlic, let it cook for a second. My onions are cooked. You can see that they are translucent. Okay, because we are trying to keep track of how much we've used, I'm going to measure this beef broth out, okay? You do, Kathy? I wish I could send it. I'm going to start with a half a cup of beef bone broth. Again, you can use chicken broth here. You can use water here. You can use milk. Whatever you want to. We're going to start with a half a cup, and we may have to add to that. We're going to see how that goes, okay? Then we're going to add in our Laughing Cow cheese wedges, okay? And then I've also got some light cream cheese. I'm going to add it as well. And I have half a block, so I'm just going to add half of the block. And again, that's just going to help add creaminess without having to use flour. Okay. So we're just going to cook this, and we want to just melt the cheeses into this to create our, what's the start of our sauce, okay? So let me check on my chicken again. Hey, Linda, we are making chicken and spinach casserole. Some of them, this one here feels like it's pretty good. about 150. That one's about 150. Okay. I'm gonna pull 3 of them out. Let me get a fork. And this bigger one over here, I'm gonna let it go for a little while longer. We're gonna give it a couple of more minutes. I'm just gonna cover these so that they can rest a little bit. We'll cut into them. Let me get some foil. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to make, I want to make sure they're not overcooked. So I took them out a little sooner. Okay, they were all at about 150. And then as they set, they're going to cook a little bit longer. And then we're going to cut it up, put it into our casserole. And when it bakes, it's going to bake even a little bit more. Okay. All right, so we're letting our cheeses melt into the broth. And the cheeses are going to thicken the sauce or the broth a little bit so that it's not so thin. We're also going to be adding some cottage cheese to this. I have got some blended cottage cheese, so unfortunately, you cannot buy blended cottage cheese yet, which is so ridiculous. I can't believe you can't buy it yet. It's coming. I'm sure of it. But I just take my cottage cheese. This is the one that I buy from Kroger. And it's the whole milk cottage cheese. I don't buy the reduced fat. And I blend it in a food processor or in a blender until it's completely smooth, okay? So you can see it's completely smooth. And I keep a tub of this in my fridge, and I use this for all kinds of different things. All kinds of different things. Any place where I would use mayonnaise, sour cream, cream cheese, any of that, I will use the blended cottage cheese. Because it's lower calorie, higher in protein, and it's delicious. All right, this is looking good. I'm gonna add a little bit of spice to this, I think. What do I want to add? So let's do, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper because we like, you know, things a little spicy around here. So I'm gonna add a little crushed red pepper to this. And I've already got a lot of onion and a lot of garlic, so I don't think I need to add more garlic. I'm trying to decide if I want to add any herbs to this or not. I think I might add some paprika, actually. All right, it's starting to get pretty thick. We may have to add more chicken or more beef broth. And I mean, you can add whatever you want to. I think I'm going to add another half cup because it's starting to get pretty thick. So that's a total of 1 cup of beef broth, 4 ounces of cream cheese, light cream cheese, and then 6 cubes of Laughing Cow cheese. All right, so we got to let this melt together again. It's almost, cheese is almost melted. But you just want a nice creamy consistency. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I will definitely share the recipe with y'all as I get it, because I'm making it up as I go. So, you know, there's that. All right, I'm going to open up my spinach because we're going to be adding our spinach to this. So this is just a block of frozen spinach. You can also use all fresh if you want to. I'm going to use a little bit of fresh in here as well. And I think I'm going to drain some of the excess moisture out of this frozen spinach so that it doesn't make my sauce too liquidy. The sauce is looking good. I'm making a mess over here, but it's looking really good. Still trying to melt. Let me check on my chicken. That one is still, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. That one's a thick one. Okay. Not quite thawed out, but let me grab some paper towels. And I'm just gonna dump the spinach onto the paper towels. And then I'm just gonna squeeze this. Look at all of that moisture that comes out. Now, believe it or not, when I make spinach artichoke dip, I leave all of the moisture in there. I do not drain the moisture out. It's a lot. Okay. All right, just trying to make sure all the cheese is melted. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat down. Now that all the cheese is melted. Okay, and I'm gonna grab some spinach. I'm gonna grab just a handful of fresh spinach and give this a rough chop. So we don't have super large pieces. I'm more apt to get Griffin to eat it if things are cut up small. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cottage cheese to this sauce that we have over here. And this is blended cottage cheese. And I'm eyeballing this. I'm guessing about half of a cup. Just making it even more creamy and adding more protein. But I mean, look at that. Look at that creaminess right there. This is with no cream of chicken, no flour, no cream of mushroom, none of that. No heavy cream. All right. Okay, I'm gonna add in my fresh spinach now. And I'm gonna cook this until the fresh spinach is cooked down. And then we'll add the frozen spinach in. And it has a little bit of a red color because I did the smoked paprika in it. I also did a little crushed red pepper, and of course the beef broth as well tints it a little bit. So if you use chicken broth, it's going to have a little bit of a different color. Okay. trying to decide if I want to add more beef broth to it or if I feel like it's thin enough. I'm just breaking this spinach up a little bit so that when it goes in, it's not just one big clump. It's pretty thick consistency right now. Let me show y'all. Christine, I just make it up as I go along most of the time. All right, so let me show you what the consistency is. Okay, so you can see it's pretty thick. And then I'm just thinking I'm gonna be adding rice as well, and the rice is gonna absorb some of the thickness. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit more bone broth, and let me measure just so that I know. I'm gonna add 1/4 cup. See what that does to our consistency. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm gonna add in my spinach that we have wrung all of the excess moisture out of, or at least a lot of the excess moisture out of it. Okay, this is a spinach, chicken and spinach casserole. So there's a lot of spinach in here. All right, and this is our sauce for our casserole. And it's pretty much done. We really don't have to cook it anymore. Okay. Yeah, so Sandy, lots of people use blended cottage cheese, and so I know that it is going to hit the shelves at some point. I'm shocked it hasn't yet. They're probably just figuring it out, but I know it's going to hit the shelves at some point. Everybody is going to have it, all the brands. I'm sure of it because it is becoming so popular. And I'm just shocked it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. I'm sure of it very soon. It's probably going to be expensive, and I don't know. I'm curious about that. If it's about the same price, I will absolutely buy the blended. Okay, so our sauce is ready. I should probably taste it and see if it's any good. What do y'all think? Let me taste it. See if it needs any seasoning. That's pretty good. I like it. I think it needs a little more salt though. So let me add a little salt to it. Y'all, spices is one of those things I never really measure. I just always say measure with your heart. Because it's really hard. Because everyone's opinion of saltiness is different. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this chicken out. It should be done by now. All right. Okay, let me throw some stuff away and clean up my space just a little bit so we can assemble our casserole. Oh, I hear thunder. Okay. All right, I am going to spray my casserole dish. I'm using a small one. This would probably make a full-size one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of the chicken in this, okay? But I know that if I make a full size, it will not get eaten. So I've decided I was just going to do a small one, and if I have leftover chicken, And I'll just freeze the chicken, or we'll use it for something else this week. Okay, I'm gonna use already cooked rice. So this is the 90-second basmati rice from Kroger. We buy these packages like crazy. We also really like the cilantro lime. Hi Brewster. They are fabulous. The basmati is delicious. So I'm gonna add one of these to the bottom of the pan. I'm trying to decide if I wanna do more. I think this is enough. I am gonna season the rice just a little bit though. Okay. So we're gonna take a little bit of pepper. I need some more salt. I got my kosher salt sitting right here ready. Fill up my salt container here. Okay. All right, we're gonna add some salt to the rice, and then I'm also gonna add some garlic powder and some onion powder to the rice. I'm gonna refill my garlic powder again. I go through these two like crazy. Okay, let me stir this up. And you could use any kind of rice here that you want to. Jane, I buy either the Kroger brand or the Morton. It just depends on what's on sale or what I can find. And I just buy the coarse kosher salt. Okay, now let's grab our chicken. And you could shred this or you could cut it. I'm gonna cut it because it's a little bit easier than shredding it. Although this chicken is sort of shredding on its own. Okay, so this is one breast. I'm going to put this on top of the rice. Okay, let's grab another one. Kathy, I'll be honest, I don't use fresh spices very often because I don't buy them, I guess. I've never had a whole lot of success in growing them, so I don't really use fresh spices very often. I use cilantro and parsley on the occasion, and that's about it. So I don't really have an opinion on that, I'll be honest. Okay. All right, so we'll put this chicken on top. So that's 2 breasts so far. You want to make sure there's plenty of chicken. I think I'm going to do 3 breasts. And they're not small necessarily. Looks like juicy chicken. I just cooked it at 350 until the internal temperature reached about 150. And then I just let it rest. Whew. Hot. I hope this is good, y'all. I hope the boys like it. Hey, Jen. I know. Y'all, Jen sat with us on the cruise at our table. It was so fun getting to know her. If you're not following her, make sure you give her a follow. She's super sweet. Okay, so I did 3 chicken breasts. All right. So 1 package of the basmati rice in this 8x8 or 9x9. So I did 1 package of the basmati rice, 3 cooked chicken breasts, and now we're gonna put our sauce over top, okay? I'm assuming I'm gonna be using all of the sauce. I like it saucy, so we're gonna put all of this sauce over top. Okay. And then I'll just spread this out. And then if you want, and if you've got some shredded cheese, you could add some Parmesan, which is probably what I'm gonna do, on top of this. I saw the other day that Parmesan has more protein in it than chicken or beef. Can you believe that? I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw, a TikTok that said it. Not to let the knife sit in water. That's interesting to know. All right, I'm gonna grab the parm. Right here it is. I always use off the block, the real thing. And I'm just gonna shred that over the top. And then I'll bake this. Of course, this is gonna sit for a few hours because it's 2 o'clock, so I'm not ready to cook this. But I'm just gonna bake it in the oven at 350 just until everything is warmed through and it gets bubbly. And hopefully it'll be tasty. I hope. You could also use ground chicken as well for this if you wanted to. I happen to love ground chicken. We use it like crazy around here because it's easy. My husband has gout, so we don't do a whole lot of beef. And so I use ground chicken all the time. Okay, there she is. All done. So this is what it looks like. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. We'll see. So again, I'm gonna bake this in the oven, 350. It would be fabulous with pasta as well, Teresa. My boys, specifically my husband, doesn't love pasta very much. So that's why I did rice instead. Also, is rice better for you than pasta? I don't know. This is 220 calories per half cup and 42 grams of carbs. It has 5 grams of protein. Now, you could use the protein pasta. I did think about doing this and I talked myself out of it, mostly because I didn't want to waste it and because of my husband. But this right here, I've been wanting to try. It's called Goodles. And it's protein pasta. And it's like boxed mac and cheese, essentially. It's 200 270 calories. So it is more calories, but it's for a cup, so it's less calories. It is for a cup. It has 14 grams of protein per cup. And then it's got 47 grams of carbs per cup, and the rice has 42 grams of carbs. So actually using this would be better. But this is, you would have to use just the pasta and not the mixture, which of course is going to make it less calories and all that. And I don't know how much, but it's like a chickpea. It's got chickpeas in it, wheat protein, all kinds of different things. Most of it I can read. But I've heard good things about this. Someone I follow on Facebook uses this, and she adds to it. She adds to it this buffalo chicken packet, and she finds like the individual, kind of like the Easy Mac, except it's the Scoodles brand. I have never seen that, and my store does not have it. But she makes that, and then she adds this chicken, and then she also adds some extra cottage cheese to it to make it more creamy. And but this one is the aged white cheddar, which sounded really good, and it's the shells. But so you can use pasta absolutely in this instead of rice, which would be more delicious in my opinion. But Andrew doesn't love pasta, so. All right, so anyways, I will try and write down a recipe for you all and share that with you after I cook this tonight and taste it and see how it turns out. See if it's worth sharing with you. But I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all